Hello, I'm Richard Vobes. Welcome back to the channel. Now, some weeks ago, it seems like weeks ago, but it may have only been 10 days or so ago, at the beginning of this month anyway, I talked about digital IDs and the fact that there was a consultation paper out that government had placed out. They hadn't really talked much about it. The wonderful Neil Oliver mentioned it on GB News. And we've spoken about it, and then a few other places have picked it up and they're advising people to fill in the form and have your say. Now, quite what having your say really means, as it's a consultation paper and it's not been put out to the public in a way that anybody is happy with, I suppose, in as much as the people of this land, in the UK certainly, would want to be able to have a say whether they are going to be having to give out their ID and information so that they can identify themselves on government websites and third-party websites which the government may be in partnership with. I don't know if you're too happy about having your personal detail available to people who are absolutely unknown to you and may not even have any relationship with the government other than in a very small way. And then that information we know could potentially be hacked or sold on. And once we've given away our own personal information, whether that's our business about our health, our bank status, our marital status, our religious status, or whatever, once we've given that away and it's sold on or used in other departments to make assessments about you, it's gone. So there is a consultation paper out there, and as I say, it's only a consultation, so the government may completely say they're not interested really in the result, they're just curious of what people think. Now, my understanding is that this digital ID is actually, the infrastructure is already there. Can't say that that's true. I'm not saying that this is the state, but that's my understanding. The infrastructure is already ready to go, and that the chances are it'll go live from October this year. Now, the other thing I know, or I've been told, and again, is that it's voluntary or optional. So in other words, at the moment you can opt out, which is useful, of course, if you don't want to hand over your information to all the departments all at once and have a unique digital ID. I personally would prefer not to have that. I don't mind identifying myself once I've identified the person or the department of government, who they are. And know who it is I'm talking to, because I think identity theft is going to be a very big thing of the future. It's already large now. We see it, the problem with fraud over debit and credit cards, and I'm sure that once everything is registered onto a single ID, once that's in the hands of nefarious people, it's going to be very difficult to make claims that it isn't you when somebody's using your account. It's just going to be very, very awkward. So the more autonomous that you are and the more bits of information you have about yourself that nobody else knows, personally, I think is the better. Now, I wonder what will happen when we get to the next government. We're going to have a vote soon. There's got to be a change of parliament in, 18 months' time? And there will be a vote, and it may be that whoever comes in, the next government, may well mandate this ID proposal, which at the moment would be voluntary. So that's a worry for me. Now, if you want to take part in this, time is running out to get the consultancy paper, or your thoughts on the consultancy paper, in. It finishes on the end of February, the 1st of March. So time is desperately running out. Now, it has been alerted to me that many people are not quite sure how to answer the questions. I believe the consultancy paper has actually changed somewhat since I last did my video. People have said actually the questions are, or the answers given are slightly different. So I'm going to leave in the link in the description, a link to the current one that you can look at. And you can have your say. Curiously, it seems that your name and email aren't required, which presumably means that you could reply many, many times. And because of that, it really sort of makes it seem like it's not terribly valid. However, you might also want to add your thoughts on the email that came with that. When I last looked, there was an email to whoever it was who was in charge of it. But I would also be emailing my MP, emailing perhaps the Prime Minister, some of the senior cabinet office, anybody really in government, to make sure they're aware of whether you want this or that you would like it put to the people before it's just implemented. I mean, I think it's one thing saying, well, I don't want it at all, but the government could, at the very least, give the offer to the people to see if they actually want it or not just have the presumption that unless we see it and rebuttal it, that it's going to happen. I think that they ought to really tell us more about it. Now, there is an outfit called Save Our Rights. There's a website here, saveourrights.uk. Somebody sent this to me, and I thought I'd show it to you because it's given some guidance on how you might want to help, or how they can help you fill in the form in case you're slightly confused by the questions. Somebody has gone through this. So Save Our Rights seem to be, now I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. So let's have a look and see what it says. It says the government's recent proposal to implement a digital ID system is a huge concern, especially as it includes sensitive information such as photographs, passport numbers and transaction data. We believe that it's our responsibility to make our voices heard in opposition to this proposal. We understand that participating in government consultations can often feel overwhelming and time-consuming, but we urge you to take a few moments to read this guide and make your voice heard. Our guide is designed to help you navigate the consultation process, and it should take you no more than 10 to 20 minutes to complete. All answers presented are merely suggestions on the basis that the person completing the consultation is opposing the digital IDs. Please use the written answers as inspiration, starting points, or feel free to copy some over. It helps to keep each survey distinct if you can further expand on anything that you copy and paste. And so then it goes on with this guide. Underneath is the guide, also the option to respond to the consultation using a simple form, which is quite handy, which sends a pre-written response to the consultation email address. As I say, that's one of the things that I would definitely do as well. We recommend doing both, as the survey results with a unique the survey results will be unique in nature, but the email will go to your local MP, letting them know that you don't support digital ID before it comes to Parliament. So that's it. Basically, here, give it a whirl. Now, as I say, I have no affiliation with Save Our Rights. As far as I can see, they seem a very upright and noble outfit. You can check them out, of course, for yourself. I'm not telling you what to do. But I just thought we would have a very quick look at this, and you can go and have a look at it yourself. I'll leave the link in the description if it helps you. It's just that time is running out now. We've got just over a week or so before the end of the month. And so I just thought it would be a gentle reminder. If you've thought about doing this and you wanted to do it, it might be worth having a look. So let's go back in here. It's very simple. It says it's got 40 steps in this little process, created by Louise C. So, and then you've got a little start button down here. So let's see what we have to do. We press the button here, and here it is, the consultation. It shows you the form that you'll be filling in. And then there are instructions, if I remember rightly. Here we are at the top here. Sorry, my screen's not terribly. Let me see if I can move that up a bit. Here we go. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So step one, go to, and there's the address, which I'll leave in the description. I have to scroll down here to get to the next page. We press that, and we carry on really through this form, and it just keeps telling you keep going, press the next page, so on and so forth. Keep going. Tells you a bit about the data and all that, which you can read on the form. And then here we are, the name, personal details. Now these, it says it's optional, and your email is optional, which is curious, as I say, I think, because how are they going to count it? You could do this on various different from different IP addresses. You could do it from work. So I don't know how they're really counting if it's more than once filled in. It's a bit strange. It says here, are you responding on behalf of an organisation or an individual? It's suggesting you do individual, and then it's saying scroll down, and then tick the next NA in here for some reason in that box, and then we go on to the next one, and so on. And basically, the whole form is there to help you to fill in. Eventually you'll get to some of the questions. If I just scroll forward a little bit, here we go. So you'll get to the questions, and it's highlighting, as you can see here, a suggested answer. So for example, the question is, the first condition for new objectives under Section 35 of the Digital Economy Act 2007 is that the data sharing should either improve or target a public service provided to individuals or households, or provide a benefit, whether financial or otherwise, to individuals or households. To what extent do you agree that the proposal or the proposed new objective meets either of those parts in the first condition? And then it's got strongly agree, neither, disagree, or not agree. And so it's saying here strongly agree. And as you go through this, you'll get more suggestions to do it. And then underneath, here we go, you can fill in a form here on their website, and this will go to, as it says, to an MP, and you become part. You can opt in if you wish to part of the campaign, etc. But I would read their terms and conditions, of course, before you do anything on it. But I just thought it would be helpful to have a look if you're worrying about it. If you don't want to use that service, of course, don't feel obliged to by any means. That's just one that was sent to me, and I thought it looked on the face of it pretty good. But if you haven't filled in that ID consultation, I think the more people that just flag it up to the government to say, do you know what, like with so many things, the digital banking, the central banks rather, the 15-minute cities, you could put a whole, you could just write to your MP and put your whole opinion in there. I think if many people did that, it's difficult if only ones and twos do it, but if many people did that, surely a benevolent, kind-hearted government that has your best interest at heart, who should be, of course, listening to what the people who put them there in position, should listen to them and think about the things that they do for the country. After all, we are the sovereign people, and they are our servants. We've asked them to administer the country for us. We haven't asked them to dictate and shove things down our throat. The more we gently and politely remind them that we are actually their masters, I think the better, because sometimes you can imagine it must be very difficult for those people in power just to remember that actually they are working for us. They're being paid by our tax money, and some of them being paid very handsomely, if you ask me, by our tax money, and often a gentle reminder perhaps is always a good thing. Anyway, I hope some of that helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back again soon with more thoughts and observations, opinions, and any information I can bring to you.